Sabi po nung iba, imposible na daw mag-impeach ngayon dahil sa desisyon. I
Hindi
see
po.
the decision before you. I approached you last week. You've been studying it. I see your radio program. Mukhang 10 beses mo na nabasa yung desisyon at apparently, Mr. Senator, you also listen to criticism. So kung ano rin yung sinasabi ng iba, pinapakinggan mo rin. In your view, may I take note first, Mr. President, that I am glad that the Senator made a distinction na he is for the rights of everyone. He was adopted by PDP and ran with a particular party, but he is not a member of the Duterte bloc. Am I correct there?
Technically speaking, Mr. President, I am not a member of the PDP, but I admit that I was adopted and I ran in unity with some of the parties of the PDP candidates at the time.
The point I'm going at is like, I was a cabinet member in the Duterte administration, but I have not talked to the Vice President. I ran as an independent in 2022, so I speak now as a senator and not as a partisan. I assume the same, Your Honor.
Yes,
that
Mr. President.
you're giving your own personal opinion as Senator Marcoleta, not as a partisan. Of course, I assume that for everyone here, no, regardless of our position. So, Mr. Senator, sa iyong paghimay ng desisyon, sa tingin mo ba imposible na ngayon mag-impeach ng isang impeachable officer?
Hindi po, Mr. President.
So naging napakahirap ba mag-impeach ng isang officer?
Hindi ko po alam kung bakit mahirap po sa kanila, Mr. President. Ang importante lang po, ilagay lang po sa tamang proseso. Napakasimple po kasi nung kanilang mga tuntunin, iniisip ko, sundin lang yung mga tuntunin. Ang problema po, isa man sa tuntunin, wala pong sinunod. Kaya po humirap ng humirap para sa kanila.
So Mr. President, I'm glad you mentioned tamang proseso. I think the way the Supreme Court said it in page 95 of the decision, there is a right way to do the right thing at the right time. The problem, Mr. President, is sinasabi po nung iba, may decision na sa former decisions, meron ng definition ng initiation, and many of us here were not mere spectators there. I mean, Senator Soto, I think, was in the impeachment court, di ba, of Senator Estrada, Senator Laurentu, Senator Kiko was still on the, we were together kay Senator Corona, Senator Cheese and I and Senator Miggs were in the House during the prayer 1/3 to the Senate articles of impeachment, di ba? So hindi po tayo stranger sa mga pangyayaring ito. Ang punto ko, Mr. President, Senator Marcoleta, kung hindi nagsabi ang Supreme Court ng specific na dapat sundin, pwede kong ma-interpret na baka naman masyadong mahirap, baka naman kahit anong i-file kung gustong protektahan, hindi na siya ma-impeach. Paano na yung accountability? But is it true, Mr. President, that on page 93 of the decision, the Supreme Court actually narrated what has to be done for a valid impeachment complaint?
Yes, Mr. President.
Allow me to read. 1, the draft article of impeachment or resolution should be accompanied by evidence when made available to members of the House, especially those who are considering its endorsement. 2, the evidence should be sufficient to prove the charges in the articles of impeachment. 3, the draft articles of impeachment and their accompanying evidence should be made available to all members of the House of Representatives, not only to those who are being considered to endorse. Impeachment is an act of the entire House, which requires a qualified minority of only 1/3 of its members to be transmitted to the Senate. However, the House of Representatives is a deliberative assembly where each member should be allowed to represent the views of their constituents. Let me stop there first. Mr. President, may problema ba yung number 1? Na yung articles of impeachment kailangan may ebidensya?
Wala pong problema doon, Mr. President.
Hindi ba ho baliktad? Kung walang ebidensya, may problema.
Tama po.
Kasi kung walang ebidensya, ano yon? Tapon mo sa Senate, bahala na si Batman. So precisely tama ang Supreme Court that even if 1/3 endorse or file, dapat may ebidensya na. Let me go to the second part. The evidence should be sufficient to prove the charges in the article of impeachment. Mr. President, tama po ba na iba po yung sufficiency at iba din po yung quality or yung burden of proof, di ba?
Opo.
So halimbawa po sa piskalya, hindi po kailangan sa piskalya beyond reasonable doubt.
Probable.
Kailangan lang that there is probable cause that a crime was committed and there is probable cause that the accused committed that crime.
Yes, Mr. President.
So in the same manner, hindi sinasabi dito sa 2 na kailangan mo ipresenta sa mga congressman lahat ng testimony, lahat ng ebidensya. Ang kailangan lang, if you assume the evidence to be true, it will be enough to convict.
Tama po.
Because if not, then sayang lang ang oras natin sa Senate. Kung may articles of impeachment ka, walang ebidensya or may ebidensya pero yung ebidensya is not sufficient to prove the charges, either the Senate will be a kangaroo court and convict without evidence or we will be wasting our time. So wala rin problema sa number 2, Mr. President.
Wala po, Mr. President.
Number 3, ang sinasabi lang ng number 3, kahit na pumirma yung 1/3, kailangan ipakita pa rin sa lahat ng Kongreso. Isa po sa hinanakit po yun nung bata ako dahil ako po'y payat nun at hindi katangkaran. Parati akong saling pusa sa basketball, baseball, volleyball dahil hindi po ako ganong kagaling sa sports. Sa Congress ba, hindi ba tamang rule to? Na kahit wala ka sa majority, kahit wala ka sa qualified minority, kapag ka may impeachment, merely being elected as a representative of the district or of the party list, dapat ipakita man lang sa iyo yung articles of impeachment at saka yung ebidensya.
Tama po kayo. Wala man lang po akong nakita sapagkat ako po hindi isinali sa pakakitaan ng...
So naiintindihan niyo po kung paano maging saling
Hindi ko nga
pusa.
po alam na meron na po pala. Hindi man lang kami binigyan eh. Kaya nung tinanong ko po yung aking mga kasama, kayo pala binigyan, bigyan nyo nga ako ng kopya para mabasa ko. Wala rin kami. Paano nyo pinirmahan? O hindi naman namin binasa ng pinirmahan na. Basta meron lang binigay ng mga signature pages. Doon lang kami pumirma. So hindi nyo nabasa? Hindi.
God and the world has a way of correcting itself because now I have the privilege of serving the people here, not as a saling-pusa, and definitely, Your Honor, as chairman of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, is not a saling-pusa here in the Senate. In fact, you are an esteemed neophyte with a very powerful committee. So, again, number 3 is just a simple walang saling-pusa rule, which is very good.